critical to your success coming out of the virus. Also, I'll tell you the mindset to overcoming performance anxiety. We'll take your calls and your chats. It starts now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. It's all about you because you were created to fill a unique role. You are needed. You must do it. Somebody out there needs you to be you, and that's why we're here for you. You are one phone call away right now. Call live. Some of you are going, you know what? I've been listening. I've been watching. And I need to break through. I'm dealing with some fear. I'm dealing with some doubt. Or I've got some clarity, but I'm not quite sure how to get there. You just need some advice or a sounding board. Hey, Ken, I've got a fork in the road. A and B. Which one do I take? Whatever it is, I'm here for you. Let's go. 844-747-2577. Get your chat questions in now so they can put them here on my laptop. If you're watching with us live right now, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching later, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe and share. We are growing, and it's because of you. YouTube pays attention to what you're watching, and they put our show in front of other people that are searching for the type of things that we are offering. So you're a big part of this. Thank you. What changes are going to be critical for your career success coming out of the coronavirus crisis? Great article from Dawn Graham, and I want to give her credit for this. And I'm just going to walk through a couple of things that she pointed out in this Forbes article and expound on these. The first thing she says that I thought was really, really good is accept the wake-up call. This has been a global wake-up call. You want to talk about an alarm going off at 5 a.m, waking you out of a stupor. This crisis has certainly been a wake-up call. Specifically, what are we talking about here? The idea here is that this won't be the only setback you have in your career. Now, it might be the most dramatic setback, but it won't be the only setback. It's not going to be the only disruption. So pay attention here. Where are you vulnerable in your professional life as a result of this? And how do you guard against that in the future? Dawn says, become a tech guru. Now, she's having some fun with this, but she's absolutely right. We've learned that technology is king. It just is. Technology is king. It always has been king, but we're realizing, wait a second, you know what? I need to be savvy. I don't have to be an actual guru or certified technology expert, but I better adjust to the new norms and be paying attention to how technology will shift and how it will affect me as a worker in the workplace. Visibility is important. You know, it's not enough just to do a really good job. You've got to be visible. Now, this is a fine line. I write about this in the proximity principle, how to be audacious, not obnoxious. There's a fine line there. But the idea that she's sharing here in this article, and she's absolutely right, is make sure that you are raising your hand to do more, to be more for others. Not just do a good job in what's expected of you, but go beyond. We talk about this on the show all the time. Know your role, accept your role, maximize your role. Go above and beyond. Diversify. This is really smart. If you've always wanted to launch a side hustle, be thinking about it. You know, think more than just your current industry. We get this call a lot on the show. Well, Ken, I've been in this industry for 20 years and my job went away and I have no idea what to do. Well, sure you do. Don't assume that you can only be effective in one industry in one type of job or role. You have transferable talent and transferable experience. Diversify mentally on that. Think through what else you could do, where else you could do it, so that you have some options and you can do some additional training and connecting to be versatile. That's the key. And then I'll just add this, folks. This is why I wrote the proximity principle, even though in a lot of places you're not doing coffee and you aren't doing lunch yet. But in this time, you need to make sure that you are truly using the proximity principle, not just to get opportunities for yourself, but opportunities for the future. So opportunities that you don't even know that you're going to need. It's all about connecting strategically, please invest in yourself by investing in valuable relationships. And that means you've got to be valuable. And sometimes it's just telling somebody that you think they're valuable and you want to learn from them. And you provide value by making them feel valuable. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. We're going to go to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to start. Robert joins us there. Robert, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. I work for a family-owned company, and the fourth generation is coming in. I've been there 33 years, and they're starting to replace all the people with their group of people.
Yeah.
So I'm 55. I got another 10 years to work. I'm starting to see the writing on the wall, but now I'm going to go and prepare myself to go into the job market again after 33 years. I'm just trying to see some advice from you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, do you have any sense or an educated guess or some actual clues as to when you might become expendable and when this would happen?
No, but if I'm following your show, I can see I'm starting to be cut out of planning meetings, production meetings. I'm their finance officer. That's what I've done for 33 years. So
okay.
all the meetings that I used to be part of,
okay, great.
I'm not part of it anymore.
All right, so I was just curious because that leads me to believe that we want to treat this as though it's going to happen tomorrow, although I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow. But the urgency for you to get prepared, I think, is absolutely vital, so I'm glad you called. Let's just talk about what would you do if you didn't have to work. Let's say they gave you a retirement package and you could retire at 55. And you were like, well, I'm going to take some time off and do some things, but then I want to get back to it. I'm not ready to quit working yet. What would you do if money wasn't an object and you knew you couldn't fail? What would you try at this stage in your life?
I would do community work, especially through my church. We have a tremendous food pantry, food network that we do.
Interesting.
That would be one of the things I would jump right at.
Yeah. Tell me why. Tell me why that came to mind.
Well, I've been behind a desk for 30-some years, and it's nice to get out and be with people, and it helps and give back to the town I grew up in.
Yeah. How much money do you need to make? If you were to have to replace your current income with 10 more years kind of on the landscape, as you said it, what kind of money you need to make to be comfortable?
We could survive on easily $75,000.
Okay. So the reason I just walk you through the questions here, I want to get your head and heart connected because you've got a tremendous amount of experience, essentially as a CFO. Am I right?
Correct.
Yeah, and a numbers guy, and so that makes you really valuable, and you can transfer to a lot of different industries. In fact, you're almost not industry specific because of your ability. And if I were to walk through all the things you do well, I would hear that you're analytical, you're detailed, good at problem solving, understanding patterns, blah 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 blah. Am I about right?
Correct.
Oh, okay, great. So I got a thought for you. If you can't make $75,000 a year doing the type of work you described that you would love to do, which is essentially, let's just call it community work, nonprofit type work, charity type work. If you can't go work for a church or a parachurch organization or a nonprofit, and kind of fill the role of an operations money guy, because it would probably be a little bit different in that environment. If you can't make that kind of money doing that, I think what I would tell you to do is just do it both and. And so could you step into a small business or a larger company in some type of finance or operations analysis role, and then also spend some time doing the other? You know what I mean? And put yourself in a position where maybe you offer your services on a contract level and you're kind of working for yourself, but on a contract basis for these small businesses. And so you kind of set your own hours, or maybe you have a lot more flexibility than you did have. And I'm spitballing right now. And then, or maybe you do that part-time, and then you do part-time working for the food bank for the church, or maybe you go work for the church. You know, I just think you want to start looking into those type of opportunities, and what could you do? How could you do it to meet the $75,000 demand that we need for comfortability, but also get you in a new environment, get you a good portion of your week out from behind the desk and being in contact with people and seeing the fruits of your labor there. How does that hit you?
Good. Yeah, 20 years ago, I did grant writing for my town to help with some infrastructure problems. I had that. I can always fall back on that. I'm assuming
you could. So see, that's another area. So I didn't realize that would be something. So what about your municipality? The city or the county? A lot of these local governments getting hit hard right now, but in a normal environment, or at least getting back closer to normal. How are you taking what you've always done very, very well, your hard skills and soft skills, and do some work that you at least enjoy, but you see a result of that work that's a little bit more enjoyable? So right now you're in a for-profit family company type situation, right?
Correct.
What if you're in a situation where you're doing the same basic kind of work, but the results are community driven? That would mean a whole lot more to you at this stage in your life, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. You can see the fruits of your efforts there.
You nailed it. So I know I didn't come up with a thing, but I think I've pushed you in the area that your heart and head are aligned.
Yeah, I'm playing. I got to do my resume next, get that ready.
There you go.
That's a big stretch of time, 33 years to try to put onto a resume.
However, go to kencoleman.com as soon as we hang up, and please download my resume guide. And I'm going to tell you why, Robert. It's going to make you uncomfortable because you've never done a resume that looks like this one. But the results are indisputable. And it's also going to walk you through. It's not just a resume and a template. It's actual guide. You read through it. It's easy to read. You'll crush it in about 10 minutes. But it's going to help you level down 33, a mountain, if you will, of work. And for the kind of things you're shooting for, I teach relevance. So you can say on my resume guide, Robert, hey, I've been working for 33 years, can't put it all here, but in a separate document, I can provide you my entire work history, but this is the most relevant stuff. That's what you're going for. So don't get hung up on that. Just go get the guide right now. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. We love when we get emails and updates to the show, and we get them all the time. And I want to share this one from Jess. She wrote into Madison, who, of course, screens every phone call on the program. And she said, hey, I recently got on the show and spoke with Ken, and I was able to start a nonprofit, and we do consulting and training for individuals and organizations that work with families. We were slated to start in 2020, and were pulled into a couple projects and grants for the end of 2019, and we did a great job. And we had a lot of stuff lined up for 2020 based off of our 2019 projects. But coronavirus happened and things were derailed. So I had to say, well, what can I do now in the downtime? And so I figured it out. I'm working with a publisher because many people in our work have said, you need a book that kind of explains your work and also how you help us. And so she is now working on a book with a publisher. And it's geared towards everything her organization is doing so they can have deep conversations. I love how she wrote this, from the playroom to the boardroom to the dining room. That's good. That's really, really good. So I wanted to share that with you because people are making progress. People are making the pivots necessary to stay focused on the dream, even in this crazy season of uncertainty. Way to go, Jess. If you want to share your story, would you? Because I'll read it. And people need to hear the stories like Jess. They need that encouragement right now. That they aren't delusional by staying with the dream and keeping their eye on the now, but also an eye on the next. Ask@kencoleman.com is the email address. Ask@kencoleman.com is the email address. All right, let's go to Delia. Is that right? I hope I'm saying that right. In Tustin, California. Delia, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Yes, you got it right.
All right. I am hooked on phonics today. That's good. What's going on today?
Hey, Ken, I was just needing your help to find my sweet spot.
Okay, let's do it. What do we know? You know the 3 indicating questions. What do I do best? That's talent, hard skills, soft skills. The second one is, what do I love to do most? That's a task, a function, a role that gives you high emotion and high devotion. And then the third question is, what results matter most to me? That's the people I want to help, the problem they have, and the solution to the problem they have. That's mission. Tell me what you know.
So what I'm good at is I've always been really good at math. I'm very detail-oriented, resourceful, creative, love problem-solving. I'm tech-savvy, like project management, and I just like providing people with resources that they're looking for. Okay, great.
You mentioned creative, and that's interesting to me. How are you creative? What does that mean in the workplace? When you say skills, you said, math and detailed problem solving, project managing, tech savvy, and then that word creative came in there. And I'm just curious what that means.
Yeah, I think it's more so creative in finding solutions.
That's what I thought. I love that. I love that. Folks, here's something. You don't have to be involved in art or photography or music writing or content creation to be creative. Delia is creative. She's just creative in the technical or the order of things and solving problems that need efficiencies in order. That's really great. Okay, we're off to a great start, Delia. I think this might be easier than you think. What do you love to do most? And by the way, it's okay if you see some crossover from talent. You're going to see a lot of the same things in passion. What work, tasks, roles do you love to fill in the workplace?
I love project management. I've only had a little bit of experience in that.
Yep.
So project management, I just like having a problem in front of me and trying to figure out how to solve it, whether that be a math problem or just anything really.
Tell me the problems that, do you mind telling me the problems that really get you fired up? If you were to list, well, Ken, if you think about all the different types of problems I've had experience with, it's these type that I get really extra excited about.
When it comes to technology, trying to get things up and running, whether it be with computers or also with math. I helped my friend recently with calculus, and that just got me very excited.
I love it. Okay, good. Anything else on that list, or can we move on to the results that matter most to you? Anything else on the passion side?
I enjoy giving talks and presentations, and I love traveling.
Interesting. Talks and presentations. Wow. I love that. Tell me what your emotion's like right before you give a talk.
There's a lot of adrenaline.
Yeah. How's it feel afterwards?
But I use that to good use. Yeah. Great. After I give a talk, I feel great, and also being confirmed by the people who heard my talk saying, you did a great job.
Give me an example of a talk. Give me an example of a talk you did recently.
I'm involved with my church group, so I give a lot of talks there. Okay. I've given a talk on charisms.
On what?
Charisms.
What is that?
They're kind of like superpowers given to you by the Holy Spirit. Some people have it in hospitality and
yes,
things like that.
Yeah, I just never heard it called that before. How do you spell that?
Yeah. CHARISM.
Oh, charism. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, what results that matter most? What do you got?
I definitely like helping people. I enjoy them coming to me, maybe stressed out or frustrated because
Tell me those people. Define the people that you most love helping. Who are they? Describe them.
It's a variety of people. It can be kids with homework, or it can be my coworker that was trying to figure out how to talk to a client. There's really a variety.
So there's not one of those groups of people that give you more satisfaction than the others. It doesn't matter whether it's a kid who needs some calculus homework help that through your community, or a coworker who's struggling with some technology piece or something in the process. It doesn't matter. There's not one people group that really sticks out to you.
No, it's just the root in helping them.
All right. So have you seen a pattern through everything we've been discussing?
Yes, helping people.
Yeah, but let's be more specific. Your talent line and passion line are almost identical, right? They're just almost identical. You're good at details and math and really that critical problem solving, the analysis part of math and the problem solving, tech savvy. You're a creative problem solver, not just and then you said, well, I love project management. I love solving problems, anything around technology and math. I can help people with that. And the one thing that stood out that was really different was I enjoy speaking publicly. And I really, really enjoy that. So that was really intriguing to me. And then when we get to results, you didn't have any one people group that jumped out, because a lot of times you have people go, you know what, I want to help people. Well, great. We all do. Who are the people you most want to help? What's the problem you most want to solve? What's the solution you most want to provide? And so I'm seeing a pattern here. So I'm going to take one more stab at this because I think there's an answer. And I want you to just let it rip from the top of your heart. You cool with that?
Yes.
Here we go. If I made you choose today, you had to lock in on a specific people group or a type of person that you want to help. What is that? Who is that person? What is the problem? And what's the solution? If you had to choose this today, what would you spend all day, every day doing? You'd go, Ken, I'm in my sweet spot and I feel like I'm stealing money. What is it?
I'd say probably helping young adults trying to figure out what they want to do.
Interesting. Now you see how see how that kind of came out after all this. So it's really the problem solving. And even though you're tech savvy and you're very detail oriented, that doesn't mean that you have to be a math teacher or some type of, software developer or a project manager. Really leaning into the people you most want to help. Now let's just go back into what you do best and what you love to do most and go, oh, so what are the ways that I can help young adults figure out what they want to do? Do you understand now what we're talking about? Like, how do you actually bring your talents to the marketplace for the result of helping young adults get some clarity and purpose? So what are the ways that you could do that?
Yikes, I'm not really sure.
Don't overthink it. You've already given us the answers to that question. What do you do best? I tell you what I think. I'm going to give you an idea and you tell me how this resonates. You could let me give you two examples actually. Let me give you the easiest one for you to process, then the second one. You could come to work for Ramsey Solutions and work on my team, and you're really detailed. You could be a great project manager and project manage all of the content and all the stuff we're kicking out all the time. There's no question you could do that because you got to be tech savvy. You got to be a creative and problem solver. You've got to be detailed and help others on the team get stuff done. Does that make sense that you could fit in a role like that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. But something a little bit more specific is maybe you're eventually going to be developing content to present publicly, and it's your own methodology. Like I have my methodology, and you're going to help those young people solve those problems with your own methodology. Maybe down the line, that's what you do. Maybe you're a career coach or you get into advising people in college, helping them come up with decisions on what they need to do. I don't know. You've got to figure it out. But you're making this thing too mysterious, and you need to look to the clues that we just went through. And there's lots of ways that you can use what you do best, Delia, to do what you love, to create a result that matters. You see how it all comes together?
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Would consulting be something?
Yeah. Say that again?
Would consulting
might be
a possible career?
Yeah. Who are you going to consult with?
Well, I did want to go into consulting small businesses, trying to figure out how to make processes more efficient.
Okay. Now see, that's kind of out of left field based on what you just said. So so my point is, do you really want to help small businesses run more efficiently, or do you want to help young adults figure out what they're supposed to do? Do you see what I'm saying? So you've got to wrestle with this. I would tell you that both work, but here's the confidence I want you to have as I let you go. The confidence that you need to have is that you know your sweet spot. We just walked through it. We know what you do best. We know what you love to do, and we know the results that matter. Now, how many different ways can you do that in the marketplace? That's your homework assignment. And you need to write that down and then use the proximity principle to talk with people, connect with people that are doing those different ideas that you have in the real marketplace and winning. That's how you get a lot of clarity. Okay? That's how you get a lot of clarity. Speaking of young people, we just launched here at Ramsey Solutions the Foundations in Career Readiness with our curriculum and education solutions department here. And I'm super excited. The content that you know that I do every day on the show is now a self-study course. It's going to help young adults and even high schoolers figure out how to land their first job in the real world or land a job that they really want, how to step into the career they love. And it is a jam-packed course for teens and young adults. 13 through 19 is the ideal age, and it's all online. All you need is a computer or tablet. Are you ready for this? It's a $90 product that we've now launched for a special time only. Launch pricing here, $29.99. $29.99. Go to kencoleman.com/store. kencoleman.com/store. I'm so proud of this. I've been keeping it secret, and I'm telling you, if you got a young person in your life that's unclear about their future, the Foundations in Career Readiness is the online course for $29.99 that you've been looking for. What a tremendous graduation gift that this is. Parents, grandparents, friends, go get it. kencoleman.com/store. All right, here we go. Let's go to the chat room. JJG Golden. Well, that's quite a name, Joe. I feel like that's a name you would have. JJG Joe. I kind of like that.
Has a ring to it.
It does. JJG writes, I have many short stints of work in my history. I'm 42 with construction and livestock experience. How do I create a resume when I don't have long stints of employment and have moved many times? Love this question. Please go get the resume guide. That's absolutely free, and it comes with a template now at kencoleman.com. It's on our resources page. I think it's also on the homepage. All the Get Hired guides are still on the homepage. So you don't even have to click. Just go to the homepage, kencoleman.com. Here's why. I'm going to walk you through how to take the most relevant work experience and put that on the resume, because here's what I'm telling you. Multiple jobs and moving all around the place, your work history doesn't need to be pristine. That's not what employers are looking for. They want to know, can you help them win? And so I teach, put relevant experience on there. It actually kind of creates less of an issue with the traditional timeline of your work history, where everybody tries to cram their entire work history on a resume. Nobody cares. What's most relevant? So depending on where you want to go, what's the most relevant experience? And again, as the resume guide is going to teach you, the resume, even mine, is worthless without a relationship. Use the proximity principle. Get around people that are doing what you want to do in places where it's happening. Leverage relationships to get recommendations so you get an interview based on the relationship, not the resume. But our resume will help you stand out as well. Miguel Reef, how can businesses trying to rehire compete with the $600 unemployment check? Well, it's going to be tough, but I'll tell you the statement I would make. The statement I would make is your $600 unemployment check that's coming from the federal government is limited. As of right now, it ends July 25th. I guess it's presumable they might kick that can down the road. I hope they don't. But if you are a business and you're trying to rehire people that you had to furlough or lay off, and they're going, hey, I don't want to come in and do that work, you can go, hey, listen, I'm going to give you another chance to reconsider, because your unemployment check is going to stop eventually. And I've got the same job you had. I'm going to offer some incentives. I want you back. You know you need some stability. I'm giving you another chance to reconsider. That's about all you can say. Because if you got a person who just thinks that, A, the unemployment check's going to keep going, and B, that, well, I'm just going to sit at home for a while, I don't want to go back to work for you anyway, they're going to be out in a job market that is vastly different than it was before the virus. You're talking about highly competitive people looking for a job, and there may not be as many jobs out there. So now it's gotten really, really competitive. So I would paint the picture of the short term and the near term. So the right now, and then here's what it's going to look like And then how does this play into your long term? I cast a vision for them. I would not beg them. Because the way I look at that is if they don't want to come back, you don't want them back. And go find somebody who actually does want to work right now. That's what I would say. 844-747-2577 is the number. 844-747-2577. Quick mention, we've been telling you this every day. My number one best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, right now, a May special pricing deal at kencoleman.com. The hard copy is $10, ebook $8, audiobook is $3.99. If you love the hard copy, that's cheaper than Amazon right now, and that's rare that happens. So go get it. It's a great, great graduation gift, or it is the guide, the proven plan to lead you to the career you love. Not just the career you need, but the career you love. There's a reason it's a bestseller. It's simple, it's practical, and it's proven. 844-747-2577 is the number. I tease this at the top of the program. The mindset to overcoming performance anxiety. Now, the context for this lesson, which was just shared with me yesterday, does lend itself to more of a public performance, but don't just think I've got to be a music artist or a stand-up comedian or a public speaker or, whatever. This also applies to anybody that has a lot of fear of any type of public communication, whether it be in front of 5 people in your office or even on a Zoom call. Anxiety over public speaking is one of the greatest fears in the world. In fact, most people fear public speaking more than they do death. Now, Madison, the associate producer, is Exhibit A. If you gave Madison the choice of death or speaking in front of 5,000 people, the choice would be death. Yeah. So it's very real. So Madison, this is actually a lesson for you as well. And let me give you the quick context because this is really cool. So my daughter, Josie, is a performer. She loves it, but she also, as much as she loves it, it's terrifying for her. It just is. And she's really wrestled with it. And she's an amazing kiddo. And she got the lead in a local play that hopefully we're still going to be able to do. And she was super excited to try out. She got the lead. Of course, we celebrated her. She's very excited. But as we get closer and closer to production date, she's just like every other normal person on the planet, like, oh, crud, I'm the lead. And there's a lot on my shoulders here. And oh my gosh, I got a lot of lines to memorize. And what happens if I forget it? And all the normal things. Okay. So we've got one of our favorite babysitters is a gal by the name of Jasmine Mullen. She's literally a rock star. So we don't get her much anymore because of her incredible schedule. And she's amazing, and she's part of a great group. And so we get to see her from time to time when she's not traveling. Right now, she's in a season where she's not performing as much, obviously. So she's by the house yesterday while I was on the air. And so my wife had her talk with Josie because Josie really loves her and trusts her and respects her. And she said, my wife basically set up Jazz to kind of talk to Josie about what it's like to deal with the fear of performing. Because it's real, scary stuff. And this is what she told her. She said, my mentor told me a long time ago that the story I'm telling is more important than the fear I'm feeling. That's good. And Stacey texted me that while I was on the YouTube show yesterday. I didn't see it, of course. So the show's over, and I look on my computer right here, and I see this note. She says, hey, I got to share something with you. Jazz just dropped a bomb on Josie. It was great. And I said, I'm teaching that tomorrow. So there doesn't need a whole lot of unpacking here. But let that sink in for a second. The story I'm telling is more important than the fear I'm feeling. Let's just apply that to you right now. I want you to, as you're listening right now, I want you to apply that. Now, again, you don't have to be a public performer to get this. You're doing work every day. You are performing in the marketplace. your work is creating a result. And when you start to get fearful about that big sales presentation or that big presentation or whatever you're doing, and you begin to have that, if you got to speak publicly or if it's a big phone call or it's a big job interview, and you're fearful, am I going to mess up? That's essentially the fear. I want you to have that powerful message from Jasmine's mentor in your head. The story I'm telling, this service can save your company a lot of money. This product can revolutionize your supply chain or your business. This thought that I'm about to share helped me, and I know it can help you. Whatever it is. The story I'm telling is more important than the fear I'm feeling. I heard that and I said, boy, that is about as good as anything I have ever heard in my life. Why? Because it helps us with the mindset shift that needs to take place. Wait a second. I got a story that I'm supposed to tell. And this story is way more important than my nerves and my anxiety about how well I'm going to tell the story. Or will the person I'm telling the story to accept the story? This gets down to belief. I believe I should tell the story. I believe people should hear the story, whatever the story is. And we're all telling stories every day. You know, you can even use this as it relates to tough relationship conversations with your kids or negative people in your life or parents where there's boundary issues. I don't care what it is. You've got fear over something that you've got to do. You got to get that thought. The story I'm telling is more important than the fear I'm feeling. And I can tell you what's on the other side of that. Fear doesn't ever go away, but you begin to be able to deal with fear and push fear aside because you've stepped into it many times before and you've come out on the other side and you've seen the evidence of what that statement actually says. Yep, there's proof that because I told that story, I didn't cower in fear. I didn't shrink back into the shadows. I told the story because it was more important than the fear I was feeling. Whew. Joe, that's so good. That's so good. Thank you, Jazz, for loving on our daughter, Josie. Hey, folks, my time is almost up, but before I let you go, you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.